had Josh Dobbs on the podcast, and
Yeah.
he went to Tennessee, and he did aerospace. Like, he famous for pastronaut wanting to go work at NASA, and
Yeah.
he did aerospace engineering at Tennessee.
Hmm.
Had like a 4.0, which is crazy for like I did aerospace engineering actually. That's why I wanted to have him on the podcast. And like just doing aerospace was
Yeah.
a nightmare. I can only imagine like doing aerospace. Oh, and then also you're the starting quarterback for the
Yeah.
University of Tennessee.
Yeah.
Also, not like a small school, like the University of Tennessee, right? So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but like one thing that he always talked about was like I had my discipline, like I had my priorities, I had my
Hmm.
routine, like I stuck to that stuff. Again, just had Caesar Ruiz on podcast. He talked about the exact same thing. I
Hmm.
was like, all right, I'm starting to notice a trend. Like the players who were successful in college, who made it to the NFL, it seems like they were disciplined, had a routine, had their
Yeah.
priorities straight. Do you feel like you had a similar experience, or did you do it differently?
Yeah. Same thing. I mean, you get to a point where routine's just natural. Wake up at the same time. I'm gonna go to practice. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna study. I think the reason, at least for me, the biggest reason why a routine helps is because it doesn't let outside distraction intervene into your ultimate goal. So if you're consistently doing stuff on time, the same thing at the same time, there's not a lot of things that can really get in the way unless you actively go out and do it. So guys that have had success, whether it's Josh Dobbs being an aerospace engineer or whoever, if you just have this consistent work ethic, and really consistency is the truest measure of performance. So if you're able to do it each and every day, you're bound to progress in something. And I think it goes, I mean, same thing with me, like even to this day, I have the same routine. Wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, go in, do whatever I need to, and you eventually over time see the results. They say Rome wasn't built in a day. It's the same thing. It is the same exact thing. So I think you look at anybody that is successful, they have a routine. There's this new guy, Ashton Hall. He talks about waking up at 3:30 in the morning, like, but you think about it like, dang, 3:30, like some people go to bed at that time. But he has a routine and it works for him and he's being successful. So to your point in terms of the trend, it's not necessarily a trend, it's a fact. And there's a book I would highly recommend. Go read Outliers. Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, I believe,
Yep.
talks about certain outliers that you would think would be a fluke, but there's a common trend in each and every situation. And I think that's the same thing about routine or guys that are successful, they have routine.
Couldn't agree more, man. You brought up Ashton Hall, and I mean, he obviously became a meme, and like people were clowning him
Yeah.
and stuff. But like, I also think that a lot of people clown people like that because they're insecure about their own life and they're insecure
1000%.
about their own lack of a routine. And so, listen, like you see this guy who obviously is doing very well for himself, is jacked, like is in shape, and it's like it's easier to make fun of him than it is to change anything about your own life.
Yeah.
Like it's easier for me to sit here and be
Yeah.
like, damn, Quentin, like you have this routine, like
Yeah.
that's, you're a loser or whatever. Like it's easier for me to like, belittle you like that instead of
Yeah.
taking a step back and being like, okay, so like, what can I learn from Quentin? Like, should I
Yeah.
have a routine? Can I do stuff to implement in my life that could help me out? So I don't know. It's like, I think a lot of people are insecure. And so when they see people who have it, put together, they're like, it's
Yeah.
just easier to lash out at them.
Success can be intimidating. And to be honest, when you see somebody doing something tough, doing something uncomfortable, if you are insecure, like you said, there can be the easiest resort is to be resentful or to make fun of it. Because that's the easiest thing to do. Oh, he's not, that's fake. Or, oh, the lifestyle he's living, he doesn't actually do it. But then he continues to post videos of him doing it. And he's also told his story of him transforming his life into this. Um, so that's what I think is a lot of people, there are a lot of hard things that people don't necessarily want to do because they're difficult. People would rather just live in comfort than to challenge themselves consistently.
Well, and also like if you look at like your own journey as an example, you started playing football when? Like when's the first time you started playing?
Football I started was in, I want to say like tackle was in third grade, so I was maybe eight, eight-ish, 8, 9, 10, maybe.
So 8 years old, you're 26 right now, right?
Hmm.
So what is that? 18 years. So you've been
Hmm.
playing football 18 years. You've been
Yeah,
practicing football for 18 years.
yeah.
Let's say you've been seriously, like quote unquote, seriously practicing football since high school, right?
Hmm.
Whatever. At least like 10 years of like a consistent routine, training regimen, right? Like all of those things. It took you that long to get to where you are today, which
Yeah,
is a fantastic player and arguably, one of, if not the best safeties in the league. You're definitely getting up there.
yeah,
Like, people forget that like things take time. To your point, Rome was not built in a day.
hmm,
Like, I hear people, like, podcasting is such a perfect example of this, where
yeah,
people start a podcast, they post 3 episodes, and they're like, why am I not Joe Rogan?
yeah.
It's like, dude, Joe Rogan's been podcasting since like 2008 or whatever. Like, he
All
has over
a long
3,000
time.
episodes.
Hmm.
Like, just an incredible timer. So, like, to your point about consistency, I think another aspect of that is like, give yourself a long enough time horizon. Like,
Yeah,
give yourself enough time to actually start to see some of the fruits of your labor.
yeah,
And I think that's where people struggle, because especially in today's day and age, where it's like, you pull up your phone, instant dopamine. You go on TikTok, there's a new video every 2 seconds.
yeah,
Like, we're just used to everything being so quick and,
yeah.
and happening overnight. Whereas like overnight success, and I think athletes are a perfect example of this. Find me an athlete that started playing their sport, a year or six
Exactly.
months.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it just
It
doesn't.
doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't happen. And to your point about society's like pushing this narrative of quick, quick, quick. I like indirectly TikTok, YouTube Shorts. There's. It's like we're wiring ourselves for this quick dopamine entertainment, and we want to apply it into everything in our lives, but we don't take a step back and say, "Hey, wait, 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 wait. You have to consistently work on things." You think? Imagine this. Imagine you go in you need brain surgery and the surgeon says, "Oh yeah, I've only been doing this for a year." You would be like, "Oh, he's not touching me." What do you mean? There is a sense of value in having experience in doing things over and over and over again. Not only is it trust, but there's credibility. And to your point about talking about, things being wanting to be reactive, like there have been certain cases where people have just hit it, like, and those are such one-offs though. Whether it like you see it in streaming, you might see it in YouTube. I think in like the internet space, it's easier because you can there's some viralness to it. You can go viral and then boom, you're off to the races. There was like it was like a boom of that happening really after COVID. Like you just saw so many different people just boom over one year. But does it really last? And that is the question. You might have this viral moment or, you know, viral year, but do people do it consistently, consistently, consistently? And that is why, to your point, if you work on it and you have years of experience, the more often than not, you'll outlast the people that just go viral or do it like have this, short term success.
Oh, and you'll appreciate it a lot more too. Like,
Yeah.
because you understand how much effort it took to build and how much effort it went, just total effort went into it. And you're like, wow, like I'm sure you as a football player, you're like, you appreciate your skills way more than if let's imagine I were to just like drop you on the Rams,
Yeah.
like without knowing anything, and I just
Mhm.
gave you like a shot, and all of a sudden you had all the skills that you have now. Like, I guarantee you would appreciate that a lot less than you currently do,
For
because you
sure.
understand the work that went into it, the years of sacrifice, all that, like the culmination of all those things, and
Yeah.
now you're the starting safety for the Rams, right? It's
Yeah.
like yeah,
Yeah. Sometimes there's not a lot of value in just getting things in one day. Like there's so much enjoyment looking back at how far you've came, the setbacks, the obstacles that you had to overcome. There's so many different moments that give you gratitude and say, man, look at 2, 3 years ago where I was at. I even could say that about my career too. Like you look at my rookie year, I was injured half the season, and to think I would be in the point where I am today, especially in the NFL, you're so thankful, you know, because if I were to sit here, man, a bunch of money in the bank, I'm the best whatever, but I didn't work for it. To me, there's no satisfaction in that. In the enjoyment, you don't have, like you said, there's no appreciation for what you have because you didn't necessarily work for it.
We talked about consistency, and obviously with that comes giving yourself enough time. I think another huge thing that I think oftentimes is undervalued is the role of self-belief.
Yeah.
I'm curious from your perspective, just the level of confidence that you have and the level of self-belief that you have in yourself and how big of a factor that's been in your success.
Yeah. Confidence, it's so funny. A veteran told me this when I first got into the NFL. Confidence is 90% of it. The self-belief that you talk about is more than half the battle. And fear, a lot of the times, you talk about what Michael Jordan says, you will miss every single shot that you don't take. So why would you be worried about it if you're not even in that position? If you're not even, if you're not even in that position, like, and Steph Curry, there's a lot of basketball references, and actually Coach McVay used a great one. He said that you have to be comfortable in the unpredictability of the result and just going for it. Meaning sometimes there's certain instances where you don't know what's going to happen. If you're shooting a game-winning shot, you don't necessarily know if it's going to go in or out, but you're comfortable with the outcome, whether it goes in or out. And at that point, you just go for it. So to talk about confidence and self-belief, the more you are consistent, the more you train, the more you are confident and comfortable and believe in yourself because you've done it over and over and over again. I'm sure, Nicola, it's the same thing in podcasting. It's the same thing in interviewing. The more interviews you do, the more smooth it goes, the more questions you know how to ask, you kind of know how to navigate a conversation, the temperature of, hey, is this the right question to ask? How can I lead this conversation into another point that I want to address? It's the same thing. Whether it's football or whether it's podcasting, interviewing, whatever, the amount of times that you do it over and over again, humans are meant for repetition. That's just the way we're built. We are meant to do things repetitively because we get comfortable and confident in them. So, I mean, yeah, the more repetition you have, the more things you do from it, you're literally bound to get better.
I couldn't have said it better myself, man. And you brought up podcasting, interviewing. I mean, there's so many things that go into it that people don't realize. It's like, it's not only, to your point, a big part of it is like the question, like how do I lead the questions? But another big aspect of it is like, what's the body language of my guest?
Mm-hmm.
Like, does he seem engaged? Like, does he seem bored? Like, is he yawning? Does he seem like he's having a good time? Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, when I asked him this specific question, it seems like he got more energy. So like, he probably likes to talk about that subject. Or like, when we started talking about this, he gave me short answers. So it's like all these things that your brain is processing that you cannot a lot of times consciously think about. Like I don't, now to your point, like I don't consciously think about any of those things, but they just kind of come out.
Yeah.
Probably same with you on the field. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're not consciously thinking about how do I tackle this specific player in this specific instance.
Yeah.
You just know and you go and do it.
Yeah.
But to your point, like none of that like if we would have been having this interview when I was like 5 interviews in, like the 5th episode, I would have been a nervous wreck. I would have, I don't know, said something stupid. Like the opening joke would not have gone over as well. Like it would have been a mess, right? Like, but that comes from confidence. Like, and like now I'm confident that I know what I'm doing. Like I've like people have said I'm good at it. Like I've gotten good feedback. So I'm like, all right. And I believe in myself. I'm like, I truly think that I'm good at this. So let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
But yeah,
there's two sides of that too. And I'm glad you said feedback because the definition of insanity is doing something over and over again and expecting the same result. So there's like, well, of course you want a repetition, but if you're doing something over and over again and it's not working, okay, you got to pivot.
Yep.
And then if you do something that is good, okay, how can I repeat that success? So that was an interesting point you said about feedback, but all of what you said is true.
Yeah. I want to read you this quote from Michael Jordan that I have written down. That's related to just preparation, and you're mentioning fear. He says it's the same process for doing anything, anywhere in life, no matter how big or small the stage. Whether it's running a corporation, taking a test in second grade, or taking a shot to win a game, at that moment you are the sum total of all the work you have put in, nothing more and nothing less. If you are confident you have done everything possible to prepare yourself, then there's nothing to fear.
Yeah. Yeah, and like we've been talking about, like the accumulation of all the work that you put in, you have to at that point I mean, there's gonna be a little, there might be a little anxiety, there might be a little fear, but you just at that point have to be like, man, I'm confident in myself. I'm gonna go for it because of the thousands and thousands of hours that I've worked on my craft, that I've been in the gym or on the field. Um, and that's one of the reasons why Michael Jordan was so successful, because he applied that mindset and mentality and work ethic into those moments where he needed to be the best version of himself.